Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith at the End of the Black VTF here at T3 Live with today's market wrap up. And what can you say? They moited them. So, a few things we were looking at last night. But, yeah, SPY down 6. Dow Jones closed down 530. And basically everything in sight was getting manhandled, if you will. And so you can see this triangle here on the daily SPY comes right down to the tick here and going out near the butt lows. So, as I was talking about last night, if you look at this monthly, even if we come down into here, we're still well within this uptrend. We've done it before. It's just been a while. And so a lot of people haven't seen this stuff. But we would still be well within the uptrend there, but certainly not out of the woods when you close on the lows. You can also see some more lines in here just above the 195er. But we'll see. When you go out on the lows or the highs on a Friday, all the charts either look bad or good, and all the rhetoric's going to go that way. But until we get some stabilization, I just don't know. I mean, when you close on the lows, did they wash everybody out and we pop back up on Monday, or is there more to go? We just don't know. So one of the things you can see people trying to bottom pick the SPY, and when things are falling apart, and there's one of the things I wanted to point out is like when you're using these. First of all, instead of trading SPY, you might want to preserve capital by trading UPRO or trading the options or trading the ES for tax purposes. But let's just use the SPY for now. And if you look at like a 15er, you can see how it's just walking down all day, and some people will try and bottom pick and be like, I'm going to put a stop in the low of the day. Oh, stopped out. Boom. I'm going to put a stop in the low of the day. Boom, stopped out. I'm going to put a stop in the low of the day. Bomb. I'm going to put a stop in the low of the day. Just keep getting stopped out like that. Well, if you're trading pivots, basically, when something's dropping precipitously like this, you're trading off the highs, not the lows, right? You're shorting off of that. You're shorting off of that. You're not buying this stuff. And so because the evidence was clearly to the downside, and I talked about yesterday that there were still some pockets of strength, but when everything starts to give way and you have the utilities that were strong earlier start to give it up like this, and you've got the REITs, there's no safe haven. Everything's going down. If everything's going down, there's no reason to believe that the market's going up, right? Okay, so a few things I talked about yesterday was looking at some of those stocks that had not get hit to see what would happen there. Chipotle, how did you do? Chipotle gets hit for, let's see, $15 in Chipotle. How about AutoZone? How did that one do? Oh, down 37, and that's what I'm talking about. When we have the first wave of the sell-off, you want to look for that to confirm by looking at all the sectors, and then you can go look for the ones they haven't hit yet. And they came a-hunting. Ulta Salon, I believe, is down about $9. Talked about that yesterday. Real nice stuff there. And even if you're trading on the long side of something like this today, you want to be trading something that is higher than it opened, because otherwise it's just with the market just dropping like a rock. I believe Disney had a nice little comeback off the lows there, and during the day picked up some SSYS, just real. SSYS came squirreling out of nowhere inside 15 and just rocketed up like that. Triple D had a nice little intraday rally off of 15er, and then we had some news from EIX, which gave us a nice move in here. We were able to catch some of that, so that was good. It's just that when you're buying things that are dropping, like when everything's dropping, you're just asking for trouble. So you want to try and look at that kind of stuff. So obviously, oil been in the news, getting killed. And oil futures went below 40, but closed at 40.45, and you can just see this precipitous drop here, and still falling apart. And that took care of the XLE here, just getting absolutely crushed. OIH here. So what's important here, looking at these things for next week, Oxy didn't take out last week's lows. If you go to the weekly, Oxy doesn't take out last week's low. So if this is a bear market rally, they sucked them all in but good. We're certainly going to be watching this for any follow through to the downside. You also have EOG, the same. Little bear market rally, and now right back inside week for those two. So we'll see if there's any more drop in energy. And even a consolidation at these levels is going to be a problem for a lot of these companies if it just hangs around 40. It's not a matter of just does it trade 40. It's how long does it stay and what range does it find? Does it pop back up? Does it go even lower? So we're going to be keeping an eye on that, because there's only so much I can say about the charts when you go out on the lows. Like I said, everything's going to look bad, and until the dust settles, you don't really know about it. One thing I do know is I'm going to be looking at the VIX products. They are now in play, UVXY, because we know of their inherent decay. Eventually this thing's going down. The question is, can it make it all the way back up and challenge this stuff here, or was this going to be the one day? So we'll be watching this and VXX for sure, XIV, and SVXY. So you might want to consider these if you're looking at, if you're looking at trying to buy the market. These things will decay whether the market goes up, or flat, and so that gives you an advantage. So you might want to keep an eye on those. Other than that, I wish I had more good news for you, but going out on the butt lows and a real shellacking. We'll be certainly watching those Sunday futures and anything we can get going next Monday, because when you have the futures related selling like this across the board, we have no natural buyers that we can tell in anything, and until that changes, you got pressure. So first you got to stabilize, then we have to see a sector rotation into something. We know we've been coming out of oil for a while, and now we came out of everything this week, so we want to see where that rotation goes. But certainly keep an eye on the VIX products, certainly keep an eye on what stabilizes and what goes up first, and that's going to do it. Hope everybody got out of the way or made a boatload today. So if not, we're going to try and do it again next week, and it should be interesting. All right, I'm Rob Smith, the Black VTF here at T3 Live with today's market wrap-up.